Andrew, over the past 6 months or so, we've been focused in on the buyer experience, making sure that they get the proper service, making sure that their expectations are met, and also making sure that our advisors are able to provide this level of service by being compensated in a world where the compensation and the paradigm is somewhat shifting. So we wanted to invite you to talk about buyer rep agreements. So really happy to have you on here to talk about that, and curious what you have to say.
Yeah, so I would say probably back in, like you said, about 6 months ago, as the fall was heading towards the winter, which is, generally speaking, for most real estate agents, advisors out there, it's their slower time. One of the things that we honed in on at the time was being prepared for the shift in the market and the shift in, everybody's hearing about the lawsuits right now, which to us, it kind of feels like noise because it's all just part of our general operating procedure. We've talked about establishing these buyer rep agreements. And I think most importantly, it's like you said earlier, it sets expectations from us and it sets expectations from what we're expecting from our buyers, so it very clearly lays out what's going to happen, how we're going to help them navigate this process, which I don't know if people realize until they're actually in it, how involved it is, how many touch points there are, how many people are involved, how many things are going on behind the scenes that have to line up properly in order for this transaction to go smoothly. And I think that we do a really great job at this because, you hear the doom and gloom about what's going on out there. We're crushing it with buyers right now. We're putting buyers under contract every single week. So I think that we do a pretty good job of creating the inventory. And I think that's one of our best selling points to buyers, to give them some confidence in our abilities, is we get a lot of stuff done off market.
That's right. About 20 to 30% of our clientele are finding properties that aren't even on the market before the buyer representative agreements. Okay. What was it like out there, as a real estate agent? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think it was really tough as someone who's represented a ton of buyers in, my, not lengthy career yet, but I would say about 75% of my business in my first 4 years has been on the buy side of things.
Sure.
And, it starts with, you have a new lead come in, someone refers you to someone, and the old way of doing things was, okay, we'll just meet you out at the listing. We talk on the phone maybe once or twice, exchange a couple of emails. We go over the properties that we're gonna go see, and then Saturday morning I'll meet you at 10 at the first open house, and then we'll kind of go from there. I think the problem with that is you're not building that rapport right off the rip with them. They kind of just look at you a little bit transactional, and they just say, "Oh, well, you're just opening the door for me," So I can do that with anyone, and if you're not available, and if we don't have this established, guideline of what to expect, then they're just going to go to the listing agent, or they're just going to, oh, my friend's selling at, my friend's a real estate agent. My neighbor's aunt's a real estate agent. She said she can help me with this one. So I'm just going to sign with her because she got me in the door at 11 while you were unavailable that day, and I think a huge problem with that is it's on the advisors mostly, because we weren't setting that table with the buyers in the first place. They don't know any better. They're new, more often than not, they're new in this process, and they're just kind of figuring it out as they go. So if someone says, "Oh, I can help you get locked into this property today," they're not going to be like, "Oh, well, this guy that I talked to 3 times and met at one property, I think I have to go." That's just not the way that people are going to think, especially in a self-serving world in industry like this, where everybody wants that instant gratification, and they're just going to go take whatever opportunity that they think they can take.